The class that's called the 1965 class. And we have the flower child. We have the flower child representing the class of 65. His name is Mr. William Bill the Phillips.
I don't quite know who that old lady was that was up here a little while ago, but Amy sure as hell wasn't in our class. Class of 65 didn't survive the 60s, we lived the 60s. And after last night, Amy and about 10 others aren't allowed in the Legion. Fellow classmates, President Mr. Hieronymus, board members, alumni, and guests. Kind of got mixed feelings about being up here. Understand I was the 15th choice. The first 14 were busy downtown watching cars rust. There were 239 of us. Walked across Harmon Field June the 3rd, 65. We've lost about 37. Some good friends, some very good friends of mine. Thanks to Mr. Neff, we had some pretty good teachers who tried to teach us and get us to where we are today. Mr. Norman Grant was history. Mr. Robert Overland was our distributive education teacher. Played semi-pro ball for the New Orleans Saints. He was about that tall, but he was that body. Miss Ella Carr, English. Boy, could I sleep in that class. Mr. Jim Horner, Industrial Arts. I didn't have Jim in class, been friends of Jim's for 30 years, got me in the Germantown Lions Club 15 years ago. Mrs. Parkhurst. Mrs. Short, another class I could choose I'll sleep in. Mr. Kenneth Heaps, English teacher. I got a good story about Mr. Heaps involving good classmate Steve Gephardt, God rest his soul. Sharon says I can't tell it in public, so you got to come over to the table after a while. Mrs. Martha Manuels. Sharon and Ike and Mike. I don't know what the hell one was Ike and who was Mike. Tom Krosky told me a tale she dated Woody Hayes. Possibility. You know them damn attorneys tell you any damn thing they want to. Mr. Doug Schmidt, amen. Football coach and biology teacher. Georgia Stone and I were lab partners in a biology class. Had to dissect this frog and put on this board what all the parts were for all this frog. One part we couldn't find. Mr. Schmidt says, "What's the problem, kids?"
Oh my God.
I said, "Mr. Schmidt, we can't find the sex organ of this frog." Got looking around. Says, "I've never seen anything like this." He said, "Give me your board." Took the board and wrote, "After sex, neutered." We had some neat places to eat. Shy's, always a good hamburger and fries. Anthony's, go in that soda fountain. Miami Shores, the only place with a TV set. Saw 2 innings of Don Larson pitching a perfect game in the World Series and had to run back to school. If that run was today, just shoot me. Ron's Pizza, downtown Miamisburg, still there. We had some good athletes. Good football team, good baseball team. Cross country team, won its first MVL championship, led by Steve Berry and Ben Sutman. They were used to running fast, and nuns chased them all over the place in grade school. Our basketball team of 64 and 65 was very outstanding, led by Ronnie Long's 40 points. Stood for a number of years Steelers and a couple Vikings have beat that. But nobody's beat the 35 rebounds Jerry Bledsoe's got today. John Kennedy came to Miamisburg in a motor parade for his election campaign. But on November 22nd, 1963, a message came across the school speaker system. Mr. Kennedy had been assassinated. 911 was another tragic time, frozen in history. We'll always remember where we are those 2 days. And thanks again to our military. Some changes since 65, Amy touched base on them a little bit. Hieronymus Farm. Hotel's gone. Chuck E. Cheese is still there. Thank God. Several office buildings and I-75. A Schubert Farm down on Gephardt Church Roads, now Rosina Drive, and numerous streets and homes. The Light Farm was on Swamp Road, not Spring Valley Pike. The Hire Farm on Springboro Pike, now home to Menards, GFS, and a car dealership. Sherwood Forest was all farmland. No highway of 725 from the Plaza Shopping Center with a Grant's department store on it, clear out to Byers Road. Old Central Avenue. Facts from 65. Minimum wage was $1. Life expectancy for men was 66 and a half. I died 2 years ago. In 65, less than half of the programs on TV were in color. But most of us watched black and white. Bonanza, Red Skelton, Andy Griffin, Bewitched, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hogan's Heroes and Ozzie and Harriet. First TV show I remember in color, watching my wife sing on the Western Hayride. Music was huge and full of an upbeat tempo called rock and roll. The sock hops in the gym were great times. Elvis, Four Tops, Temptations, the Beatles, the Supremes. Gym really took off though when they turned them 45 records on and brought out Chuck Berry, Chubby Checker, Sam Cooke, Little Richard, Dee Dee Sharp and her mashed potato, the Dovells, Bristol Stomp. I think somebody tried to do that last night in the Legion. You're not allowed in there anymore either. The Hully Gully by the Olympics, and the Freddie by Freddie and the Dreamers. Yeah. Hot rods and muscle cars were popular means of our transportation. Today we'd be able to build a hot rod because that was mainly imagination. Took a 409 engine and stuck it in a 39 Chevy. But make a muscle car out of a Toyota or a Prius? You ain't gonna get it. 65, the gas tank in my 39 Chevy held 11 gallons of gas, cost me $3. Now I use a 5-gallon gas can to mow my yard twice and it cost me $15. A statement you wouldn't hear now is, here's $5, fill a car up with gas. Postage stamp was a nickel. Gallon of milk, 95 cents. 6-pack of Pepsi was 59 cents. That 6-pack of beer we went and bought, 99 cents. Now, yeah, we could drink, we couldn't buy it. New house cost us $13,600, and a car cost us $2,600. Fashion was another way that the class of 65 expressed ourselves. Afros, girls and boys. Bouffant hair, as worn by Jackie Kennedy.
And Amy Jimmy.
Yeah. Granny glasses. Mini skirts and go-go boots. And my favorite, hot pants. My dad teased Sharon every time she wore them, says, I've got a belt wider than pants you're wearing, Sharon. Cincinnati Reds play ball in a shrine called Crosley Field. And the only pro football team was the Cleveland Browns. Here are some statements you would not have heard in 1965. If there was a cord on the end of that damn phone, we'd never lose it. How long have you had your computer?
Oh my God.
Get your phone out and take my picture. Can you take videos with your phone? Will the kids of Bruce Jenner still call him Dad? All right, where the hell's the remote for the television? Check your email. Can you Google that for me? Hear a man say, I'm trapped in a woman's body. Check my movie selection in DVD and Blu-ray. Finally, classmate just retired. I'm not going to tell the dumb joke again, I promise. Sitting on a park bench, admiring his new gold watch. Thought, what am I going to do with my time now? My wife's gone, kids have moved out of town. Go visit them every once in a while. About the time a Corvette drove by. Thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy me a brand new vet. Went to Chevy dealer, got what he wanted, finance, whatever. Driving home, thought, this is neat. Pulled up on I-75, wonder how fast this thing will go. Got up to 80, 85, 90, 95. Looked in the rearview mirror, state highway patrolman right behind him, pulled him over. My classmate pulled over. Officer walked up to the window and said, sir, you know how fast you were going? He said, yeah, over 90, wasn't I? He said, yes, sir, you were. He said, I'll tell you, if you give me a good excuse of why you were driving that fast, I'll let you go. My classmate thought for a minute and said, 30 years ago, my wife ran off with a state highway patrolman. And I thought you were bringing her ass back.